The old asylum stood on a hill. It was outside of town. The building was tall and grey. Broken windows looked like empty eyes. The wind howled through the broken glass. It sounded like screams. The iron gates were rusty and creaked. No one dared to go near. The asylum had been empty for years. People said it was haunted. They whispered stories about the people who had lived there. They were forgotten souls. The asylum was once a hospital. It was called Whispering Pines. Doctors tried to help people with troubled minds, but the treatments were harsh. Some patients never got better. There were stories about a nurse. They called her Nurse Helen. She loved her patients. She tried to make them comfortable, but she died in the asylum. Some say her spirit never left. People heard strange noises coming from the asylum. There were whispers and moans. Some saw shadows moving in the windows. No one dared to investigate. One night, 4 friends dared to go to the asylum. There was Mia, the brave one. Jake, the skeptic, was there too. Lily, the curious one, wanted to see the ghosts. And Sam, the scared one, came along. He did not want to be left alone. They stood at the iron gates. The wind rattled the bars. Mia pushed the gates open. They creaked like they would break. The friends stepped inside. They were afraid. The air was cold and damp. It smelled musty. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling. The floor was covered in dust and debris. They walked slowly, their hearts pounding. They found a room with a desk. There was a book on the desk. It was a diary. It belonged to Nurse Helen. Lily read from the diary. The words were faded and hard to read. Nurse Helen wrote about her patients. She wrote about her hopes for them. She wrote about her fear of the doctors. They were doing experiments. On the last page, Nurse Helen wrote that she couldn't leave. Her patients needed her. She would protect them, even in death. Suddenly the room grew cold. They heard a whisper. The friends were terrified. They ran out of the asylum. They didn't stop running until they reached the safety of town. They never spoke of what they saw that night, but they never forgot Nurse Helen. They often wondered if the whispers were real or just their imaginations.